the next step for your plan, after not doing any more taxing, would the next step be, because when you're stuck in the city, you have to be exposed to the government taking away schooling, electricity, and food. But the next step after not taxing would be self-sufficiency farming, like small-scale individual farming and self-sufficiency. Would that be the next step?
It's one of the obvious solutions, for sure. The more autonomous we can become, the more self-sufficient we can become, the more independent we are, the more free we are. And for sure, we have methods of growing food that will be true. There's ways to get back the nutrients in our nutrient-deficient soils, ormus, There's so much stuff that we have, so many aspects of the solutions. We can have healthy, nutrient-dense food again. Everyone can be producing free energy. Technology is there. We can have energy across the spectrum. We can have sound monetary policy where we live in a state of abundance, where now we're fighting for the crumbs. Literally every single problem that we face, there are solutions for, but we're purposely being denied access to that information by the mainstream and all the prostitutes working within this time radical system. So we're led to believe that everything is a big problem and unsolvable, and it's just not true. We have solutions for everything. So yeah, self-sufficiency in food production in sane, intelligent ways, or truly organic, not fake organic shit, because they can put all sorts of crap in organic foods. It's a joke, quite frankly. And with chemtrails, as my lady pointed out the other day, I mean, fuck, nothing's organic now. There's dropping shit into the soil everywhere. So, I mean, how can we have organic anything? We can end all of that madness and go about it the same way. So, yeah, in answer to your question, I think that's a very big part of the solution.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Just remind all of us, pardon my voice again, remind all of us, there's about 14 minutes to go till we must wrap up. And if everybody can help these folks to ask their questions.
Okay, yeah. I'll try and be quick with the answers, and if you can help me, thank you.
So my question is, what do you view as the basically the point of no return? And so the premise that the question is, we know we're at war, and for anybody who doesn't believe it, we're at spiritual war, we're at information war. I do acknowledge apartheid exists. I'm anti-Zionist. Whether you're a Christian Zionist, a Jewish Zionist, a Muslim Zionist, the idea of Zionism has been a negative idea that's been perpetrated for thousands of years. I've studied William Cooper. I've studied Manly P. Hall. I don't know who Manly P. Hall is. I suggest you research him. Yeah, I'm getting it. The question is, what do you consider the end game, the point of no return? I've studied Daniels, the art of war. I was a Freemason, so the satanic rituals, and that's the war belief.
Yeah.
Well, what do you consider the point of no return? So we're at a war.
Yeah, I honestly feel like, again, I'm sort of repeating myself. I don't believe we've hit a point of no return. There are some...
For your background knowledge, what do you consider that point of no return? The TPT,
people on welfare can do to help.
Well, I'd say really, an obvious point of no return is when the launch of the nukes takes place, the Third World War has been instigated. That's fucking point of no return. But I think all the way up to something as extreme as that, we can solve our problems. We can. There are solutions.
There's a lot of people in line there.
Yeah. But even if we reach the point of no return, fuck off. I'm going to fight until the end. Go fuck yourself. Even if you...
I have a show called I'm Nature. It's an alternative radio show. It's on Revolution Radio. I'd love to have you on as a guest. I've interviewed over the last year, 2 months.
Oh, fuck. Don't give us a plug.
There are thousands of people, thousands of villages on this planet. They're living off the grid, completely sustainable. They're the models of the future. Okay. A couple of things I've been promoting on my show is one, a convergence of all the different movements, the eco movements, the anti-war movements, which is sort of what you represent, the free energy movement, all this sort of stuff. So I'd like to get a conference together of all these people, create a mandate, a protocol, a purpose, and then try to create a political party that would represent that, not just in one country, but globally. What do you think of that?
Well, I have to say, I want power in the communities. I have no interest in centralized power. Yeah, well,
Okay, here, I'm gonna go up.
yes, so if it's in low, wholeheartedly, I believe 100% that people who live in the community need to decide how the community lives and the rules and the cultural norms, and anything other than that to me is unacceptable. So if it enhances the sovereignty and the independence of communities, great, I support it. I will support anything like that. If it in any way provides a means for centralized power,
It's going to be decentralized power, but we have to get together across the board to get rid of these
well, I'm open.
toxins.
I'm open to it, and keep doing what you're doing, and we'll exchange information, and hopefully we'll do a program. Yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you.
All right, I'm someone who's dived pretty deep into the whole legal system and understanding legality and lawful and making a clear distinction between the two. My question is in regards to the wording of world citizen.
Yes. This is something that I knew right from the get-go. You know, New World Order, citizen, a contract between the citizen and the state. And, you know, I understand these objections, I really do. But power, the powers that be have hijacked pretty much fucking everything.
Yeah.
So they've made it to they've done it even to the point now where, okay, flat Earth as well, like they use a fucking globe. Fucking great. Now, you know, I'm going to have the flat Earthers. And honestly, it's not that I don't see credence in that argument, and I'm open to any kind of. The reality of our world is far stranger than any fiction, so nothing would surprise me. But the bottom line is that world citizen, as it's been presented by the New World Order agenda, is the antithesis of what I'm putting forward. In real terms, how does this, affirming our natural rights and agreeing to how does that in any way complement their version of a New World Order? It is the exact opposite. So people are getting caught up in words as they've been historically used, which they've obviously hijacked most of these words so that we can't fucking use them, and we have to like tiptoe around in order to not offend the group over there that's like, and it's just silly. Come on, it is what it is. It's a social contract, it stands on its own. It doesn't centralize power, it actually brings power back to the individual and to the community. So people need to get over it. And quite frankly, those people are such a small fraction of the human population, quite frankly, fuck them. If you can't get over your own bullshit fucking and see the value in this because you think you're so fucking right, well, whatever. You know, I'm not pandering to that kind of mentality anymore than I'm going to pander to the flat earthers or any other fucking segment. You know, but thank you for the question.
You need enough people to sign on to that too, though, to make it legitimate.
Yeah, if it doesn't get the numbers, it's bullshit. It doesn't mean anything, so we'll see.
Okay, so in regard to this question up here, are you sick and tired of your taxes funding wars that you do not agree with? Yes. So if you're not self-employed and you just stop paying taxes, but you're working for a company where it's automatically deducted from your paycheck every 2 weeks or whatever, how do you get around that?
Yeah, well, that's the system in the UK as well. You know, unless you take payment directly, you create your own business or something, that is an issue, and it's something that, of course, we're going to need to solve that issue. We're going to have to assert our power. It shouldn't be acceptable that our money that we earned, our fucking money, is automatically deducted for a fraudulent tax system that doesn't represent our interests and effectively is welfare for the fucking bankers. Because we just bail them out, don't we? We fucking keep bailing out the richest of the rich. So obviously we need to sort that. I don't have a specific plan in terms of how we're going to address that issue, but trust me, when we get to the point where we've got the kind of money to finance our legal team to be able to defend this position, that will also be something that people are going to be saying, like, fuck, we need to fix that, and we'll have it. We'll be able to achieve that goal. But I don't have anything specific for that right now. I look forward to it, though.
Withdrawing our consent to participate in the contract, the legal fiction, is there a way of walking away from that related to your solution, where we just say, I mean to be it, but I'm not it. So can I say, it's yours, and give it back?
Yeah. Here's the issue for me with that. There will be some wording in the social contract and probably a declaration that goes side by side with it, which will deal with the legal fiction and the non-binding nature, the fraudulent nature of the social contract of citizenship and the fictitious corporate entity. But if I get into that, if we get into it too much, then you start inviting a debate and all sorts of discussion. not take the time to get into understanding this stuff. And the first question I ask people, like, when I meet people, and they present a solution. People present solutions to like legal fraud and all this kind of stuff. But I ask them right up front, what's the learning curve? And, if it's like a long-ass learning curve, which takes hundreds of hours of research, how can people do it? They're not going to do it. So you're only appealing to a very tiny segment of the population. I don't believe we need to get very deep into that. I think, really, if you look at the contract itself, do you need to say, oh, by the way, I remove myself from the legal fiction? It already achieves that goal, if enough people sign it. You don't even need to get into it. So you're telling me based on your fraudulent contract that I need to do this. Well, I'm sorry, I can't do that, but I've signed a contract which trumps your bullshit, and I'm not doing it. Oh, but we have a legal fiction that we have that you fucking signed. Well, I'm sorry, but fucking whatever that shit you're talking about means nothing to me. I'm entered into this contract. You don't even need to know. And most people won't take the time to know anything. So I don't really want to go too much into it. I don't think it's necessary. And really for me, it's more about proactively, we create the reality. We're creating, do we have to answer to their bullshit constantly? Fuck off.
Hey Ken, I just want to say I love the movement. I think it's great. But I guess I'm a fellow cynical optimist. I was wondering if you think this is going to come down to some sort of a righteous battle royale. Because I don't see the powers that be just allowing us to just do this peacefully in the night.
No, they won't allow us. They won't give us a choice. And that's the power we have. And at the end of the day, that actually brings up a really important issue, which is if it's up to them, like if we're not responsible, they're responsible. If it's up to them, what are the chances that they'll change out of the goodness of their hearts? Zero. So it will never be up to them. It's going to be up to us. So how we manage to wrest away that power and take it back within ourselves, well, I mean, obviously I have a plan. Maybe there's a better way. I will sign up to anything that I feel is genuinely better than this. Really, to be honest, it's fucking way easier and much more enjoyable. It's a lot of responsibility to present something that has the capacity to do what I'm saying. So if someone else fucking wants to do it and take the lead, excellent, man, I'm right behind you.
Considering that the whole world is mortgaged right down to the hilt with compound interest, and there are a group, maybe several groups in the States that over the years have been saying, don't just audit the Fed, get rid of it. Do you have any affiliation with any of these groups, or do you think that getting that as a starting point might help? Because if we don't do something about them owning the money supply, they print the money and they print the news, we're all going to be Palestinians. That's my question.
Yeah. The truth is, this plan is actually an indirect attack on that very thing. It's, not something I've talked about too much, but at the end of the day, the head of the snake is the financial system, for sure. If that remains in place, I don't give a fuck what you do, man. It ain't going to translate to any meaningful long-term freedom at all. So this plan is going right after the fucking jugular of that, believe me. But it does it in a less direct way. I promise you, it'll become more obvious when it reveals itself completely. But at the end of the day, I agree with you wholeheartedly. My affiliation with people who want to, fuck the Fed and all the central banks, it's crazy. There's no room for that. We need to control the printing of our money. It needs to be non-usury based, transparent, sensible. And if we do that, we can liberate all of humanity. Every nation can live in a state of prosperity and abundance if they employ that. Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree. Yes, brother. Welcome. From last night. Good to see you again, brother. Yeah. He's very soft-spoken. You won't speak up, brother.
Okay, so what I want to say is knowledge, I think, in general, is neutral. But how we apply the knowledge and wisdom is a whole other story. So if something something that comes up a lot when I research all sorts of things that have to do with the elites and their agendas and the matrix, if you will. And two big things is alchemy and masonry. So my question is, what role does alchemy and masonry play in this whole game, if you will? And is it possible for alchemy and masonry to be something positive?
Wow, those are pretty in-depth questions. I think alchemy, for sure, is one of the, it's amongst the occult, the hidden knowledge. There's a lot of tremendous value within alchemy, and most of that is not understood within the general population, and those who have that kind of knowledge have been historically targeted. So I definitely see alchemy as having huge potential in terms of serving humanity and the interests of humanity. I agree with you, like most things, like money, people say money is the root of all evil. No, bullshit. Money can actually serve humanity. It's actually a potentially great tool. In a better world, like way beyond where we are right now, in a better world, I don't think we'll have any need for money, no need for written laws or any of that bullshit. We won't need that kind of stuff. But in a transition to a better world, money can be used constructively. Masonry, I don't see, there's wisdom in there, and by nature, anything that's secret and a top-down, kind of pyramid shape with the lower ranks understanding nothing and the top ranks having a knowledge of a very deviant, destructive agenda, that's inherently, in my opinion, not good for the masses. But the knowledge held within Freemasonry, I'm sure there's tons of stuff in there that could be very, very useful for humanity, and we'd be wise to tap into it when we can break the whole fucking code and get into that shit. I'm sure when the system starts to fall and all of the structures of that system start to fall, that all of these things will begin to reveal themselves, and we'll have access to the Vatican Library, and we're going to find out a whole bunch of shit, which is really going to blow our minds. I don't have any doubt. I believe, yeah, we can take the knowledge of both of those things within the, use it in a constructive way, I'm sure. Thank you, brother. Yeah, God love Prince too, man.
Hey guys.
Hello.
I live on ODSP, which is basically welfare for disabled people in Ottawa. And I'm wondering how I can help fight the New World Order.
Well, that's actually what World Citizen is, because that's the question that I've heard over and over and over again, what can I do? That's really what this is. It's something that everyone can participate in who believes that they have to do something in order to be part of creating a better world. I mean, those of us who've made that decision to be part of that process, I'm hoping that this option, this proposal will resonate with enough people to actually make it manifest into a better world. So this is why I came up with this plan, so that people like yourself can participate in it. So please go to worldcitizen.solutions. That's the website, worldcitizen.solutions. Get on the email list, and when this launches, sign up, get involved.
All right.
Please. Thank you. And then there were two.
I just want to thank you for coming and doing what you're doing. I want to thank my buddy Phil for bringing me here. I got around your videos a couple weeks ago, and you're saying a lot of things that resonate with me, and I just want to go and kick some ass right now.
Right on. You look like a man who can kick some ass.
I'm married, a father of two. I'm scared for my kids. I never was afraid to die ever until I had kids. I want to know. I want to know how many people in here are under 25. So that freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah.
I want the next generation to know this, and I think shit's gonna hit the fan. Phil and I are tripping back there. We're like, fuck, man, this guy's so he really is. So I want to know, geographically, am I okay right now? Because I just got back from Jamaica. Am I cool in Canada? Because I really feel it makes sense that I want to get all my loved ones, all of y'all, let's get on a plane, let's go in the jungle somewhere, let's make fire, you know, that's to me what this is all saying to me right now, and I get that. Like, you know, I'll give you my $12. Everybody give me $12. My question to you, really, in your opinion, where are you going when shit hits the fan?
I'm going to the Caribbean, actually. I already got a little piece of land out there, and you know, that's where I'm going. And I have to say, I'm begging for the locals to forgive me because we fucked up our place so bad. I have to come to your land to try and live the same life. But in all honesty, I mean, you know, I've lived in London the last 15 years, and I've lived in the States, lived in Hawaii, the stolen nation of Hawaii. I will go wherever it is that I feel I'm meant to go, but yeah, I mean, I do believe if you want to play it safe, I'd get the fuck out of Dodge, man, and you know, get off the Titanic and see if it's going to sink before you get back on it, and ultimately, at the end of the day, there are places that I would say would be a little bit safer. The Caribbean holds some potential promise, you know, South America. I mean, if you're really looking for places that might be a little bit safer, but in all honesty, our fate is very much intertwined. I mean, if we have a third world war, there's really not going to be much reason to even want to be alive.
Well, I know that'll be like I Am Legend, and I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
Will Smith's really going to help us.
But in all honesty, I mean, for me, I love the sea and I love nature as any sane person does. And I've had enough of the city. And you know, I would live in Hawaii, to be honest. That is the place that I connected with more than anywhere else. But it's a fucking military base, and you know, I can't be there now. So.
You said enough, man. I know.
I love your shit, man. I love your approach, man. I like it. It's good. You might have to come work with
the under 25s with your hand up. Like, look them up. Tell your friends. Tell your little brothers, your little sisters.
Yeah, really. Yeah, we need more younger people. I have to say, it's a good point.
Up. Let's wake them up.
Thank you, buddy.
Who I am. I'm kind of nervous. I shouldn't be. And I just wanted to shake your hand because I'm proud of you.
Wow. I tell you, honestly, let me just share one thing. I mean, you know, when I was a younger man, just a real quick one, but when I was a younger man, when I was a boy, they bused us to the poor black neighborhood once a week. They called it integration, and ultimately, because I was always the kind of kid who never liked bullies and always stood up for myself, invariably I went to the poor black neighborhood and I'd get into an altercation with one black kid, and before I knew it, I was fighting 3 or 4 of them, and it really pissed me off to the point that I actually flirted as a young man with white supremacist groups and whatnot as a direct result of this, because my mentality was like, what the fuck, you know, if you're gonna have a problem with me, let's do it one-on-one, don't bring your fucking buddies, and you know, it was just a very base level kind of, you know, integrity and respect, you know, one-on-one. And as I grew up, I didn't go down that path, but I could have gone down that path. I flirted with it. And it was only later in life, especially after my Marine Corps experience, where the trauma of doing the right thing and being punished severely had unprogrammed me, that I ultimately got out of the Marine Corps and I took a course called American History from a Black Perspective. And it was during that course that I realized the magnitude of my own ignorance and how I had been manipulated into looking at black people as an enemy and developing prejudices towards black people. And I realized that had I been born black in America, I'd probably be one dangerous motherfucker. And probably would have ended up a statistic, in prison or dead, because, well, only white folks don't get it. You know, black folk know damn well, and black men who drive around in nice cars know what it's like to get pulled over by these fucking racist cops and getting executed all the time. And it's not new. It's been going on all the time. So when I was a younger man, I was falling down that path, the manipulated path, to see others as my enemies, and black people in particular. So thank you very much, sister, for sharing what you've shared. My ignorance has given way to more understanding and wisdom, but it could have gone a different way. I feel like a black man in a white man's body. I liken myself to a white Malcolm X, you know. I feel the rage of Malcolm X, and if I were born black, I'd be expressing myself with that kind of fucking mentality, I can tell you. Well, yes, and yes, there is an agenda to pit us all against each other, and we see this happening for sure. So, you know, let's not fall prey to that shit. As long as we're fighting each other, the bastards at the top are laughing. Fucking top. We're all fighting each other. We're going to the top of the pyramid. I believe that's it. Thank you all very, very much for coming.